Good evening, everyone. My name is Deshaun Carter, and welcome to Excelling at Table Topics. First of all, give yourselves all a round of applause. If I can't see them together, give yourself a round of applause for being here, because this means that you're about personal growth and you're about growing and you're about learning. So that's a really good thing. And I just read this quote before getting here, and it was really compelling, so I want to share it with you. It's easier to act yourself into a new way of thinking than it is to think yourself into a new way of acting. So the fact that you're acting and taking a step forward to become a better speaker, I just want to applaud you all, and you applauded yourselves. So let's get this presentation on the screen. And I want today to be really interactive. The goal is not for me to talk at you the whole time. The goal is for all of us to learn together because I find that's just more fun. So I titled this presentation actually Speaking with Power, Confidence Without a Script. This could be just about table topics if you want it to be, but speaking with confidence and impromptu speaking is actually a life skill. And we'll talk about why more. Objectives. Today, welcome. And the objective is to shift our mindset about table topics and impromptu speaking. When we change the way we look at something, the thing changes. So instead of looking at it as something scary or something that's very hard, let's change our mindset to something that we can achieve and accomplish and do it with confidence and clarity. Number two, we're going to work on simple frameworks. Practice really makes progress as it comes to table topics and impromptu speaking, but there are also frameworks we can follow to help us and guide us. So we're going to talk a lot about those. Thirdly, practice, practice, practice. Like I said, practice makes progress. And today, our practice is going to help us become more confident. And the tools that you're going to take away are things you'll be able to do even outside of the workshop. And then lastly, ways to manage nerves and overthinking. A lot of times we overthink because we're not confident in what we're doing. We haven't done it enough times, or we haven't practiced the frameworks and feel comfortable trusting the frameworks that we have. I'm a performance coach. Like I said, my name is Tashawn, and these things are so important to me. So I wanted to present this more as a life skill about confidence and being able to speak confidently without being prepared than just about table topics. And as a consequence, you'll get better at table topics. So, excelling at table topics. First, we have to get into, because I can't assume you all know. That's not fair. When they say you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So I will go into definition quickly. What is a table topic? So, by Toastmasters definition, actually, I lied. I got this from ChatGPT, so I don't know if this is on Toastmasters. But from what I know, this looks right. It's a 1 to 2 minute impromptu speech, which means you are put on the spot to make a 1 to 2 minute speech. You're not prepared beforehand, and you are also given a random prompt. So the random prompt could be a question, it could be a title. In our Toastmasters at my district, we actually, sorry, at my club, we do all kinds of weird things. Sometimes we do sometimes it'll be an item you have to sell to the audience. Sometimes it'll be debates. We get really creative with what this is, but you're not prepared beforehand, and it really involves you thinking on your feet and being able to speak confidently. Also, you have seconds to organize your thoughts before starting. What many people don't actually know when doing a table topic is that I believe you have, I want to say 30 seconds, but I believe you have up to 30 seconds to organize your thoughts before even speaking. A lot of people, they hear the question and they just go. And a lot of times, the use of a pause can really help us clarify our thoughts and give ourselves a strong starting. And lastly, the goal of a table topic is to have clarity. So speak clearly so everybody understands the story or the point you're trying to get across. To connect. Connection is one of the best parts about speaking with confidence. Connecting with the audience. So a lot of times people see something in your story or they see some of you in themselves, which creates connection. And lastly, confidence. Being confident means you've been prepared and you're being prepared for you're you're being prepared for something that's difficult to prepare for. So it's cool that we're doing this because again, it's a skill that we can use all throughout of our lives, whether it means getting a better job and leading. Somebody, Laverne told me earlier, she wants to be a CEO one day. She's exactly in the right place. Or if it means even just having better relationships with people or approaching somebody you've been nervous to approach. All these skills are very useful life skills. So, opening it up to the room because I didn't want to just talk at you this whole time. I will call on a few people, but I'm curious. In one word, How do you feel about impromptu speaking? I would love to hear. Can I call on somebody individual like Teresa? I see Teresa in front of me. So Teresa, what's one word? How do you feel about impromptu speaking? You have to turn off your mic or turn on your mic. Sorry. Still can't hear you. Okay, well, maybe you can write it down and we'll come back to you.
No, no,
Okay, you're here. I got you.
sorry. Exhilarated is the
Ex-
word that I would use.
I love that. Thank you, Teresa. That's a great word. What about Lydia? Lydia, are you there? Okay. Angela? It was harder than I thought. Candace? You're gonna have to unmute before you speak.
There is some answers in chat,
Oh, in the chat?
Sean. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll just say like I love that people are putting in the chat, but what I will say is because we're at a speaking workshop, I would love to hear voices.
Good call.
Love, super encourage it. Uh, Candice,
Yeah, a bit of anxiety, I guess.
anxiety. Okay, we can explore that today. Thank you for sharing, Candice.
Yeah, me too. I have like nerve-wracking in my mind come to mind.
Nerve wracking, two words even. Nerve and racking. Well, we're really gonna explore that today, and hopefully by the end of this, maybe we can check in again. Faraz,
I would go with exciting.
excited. Love that. VJ, what about you?
I would say it's chance to prove yourself. That's it. Sell yourself. It's all about selling. It doesn't
It's
matter
all
what is the topic. Impromptu is giving you a chance to, share your thoughts, your observation, your experience, and being unjudgmental. You don't need to care about what people are going to think, what you're going to say. That's it.
Thank you, VJ. I feel so motivated. I gave you one word, you gave me 12, you gave me maybe 20, so I love it. Thank you for motivating me. Sabrina,
Chaos.
chaos.
Though I do love table topics, but for an overthinker, chaos.
I'm an overthinker too, so I definitely understand what you could go any direction. It's all spinning in your head. Love that, Sabrina. Thank you, Kathy.
It's a form of gambling that doesn't cost anything other than perhaps how people see you.
Gambling with only a cost of judgment.
Because it may come to you and it may not, but you might as well gamble and have fun.
I love that, Kathy. I always make a joke in my table topics. Sometimes I pretend like you're reaching in a bag and hoping something is there. Usually there is something, but sometimes there's nothing there. And you just have to laugh and not take yourself so seriously. Thank you for that. Thank you everybody for sharing. I just wanted to get around the room and see how everyone was feeling and doing a check-in. Have anybody else? Everybody's camera's off. What? Are we good for time? 6:13. Okay, we can move on. Okay, another question. Forgot I had two back to back. Why is this important for you? Why do we think impromptu speaking is important? And I want to say VJ really alluded to a few things about selling, which I thought was great. But does anybody else want to share?
I'll share a quick story.
Who said that?
That's Laverne.
Laverne, okay.
Yeah, so in my profession is HR. I am an onboarding manager. And we had someone who was supposed to facilitate, could not facilitate. And guess who they called to facilitate? I had no idea about what she was going to say. I had no idea of anything. But what I learned through that experience is to be authentically you and confident, and you will fly. And that's what I did. I just talked.
Love that story. So being authentic and being confident is important for you, and it's important for a lot of us. And I love that, Laverne. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing it.
Deshaun, we have a couple of raised hands, Faraz and Kathy.
Okay, so we'll go in that order.
Yeah, if
Thank
I
you, Steve.
may. Thank you. So in my line of work as a project manager in construction, you always sit on a negotiation table and there's always, talks about your team, their team, you want to come compromise or you want to come to a mutual understanding. So being able to be on top of your feet, have an answer that is clear and communicated well is really important. So I think that's the value that this would add to my career for sure.
Thank you, Faraz. That's actually a great share. Clear, concise communication. They say that's why when Twitter was invented, it was only 140 characters because people really appreciate concise thought. And I love that impromptu speaking and table topics allows us to practice that. So thank you for that, Faraz. It's absolutely, you're in the right place. Kathy.
You never know when you're gonna need to go out and try to appeal to a greater amount of people that you normally don't for something important. I've had a few examples, one being I went up against City Hall for parking permits in South Etobicoke. I didn't expect that all of the counselors would be drilling these questions at me. And when I left, I didn't expect to be on TV or have a bunch of mics put in my face. This was just going up against parking tickets and allowing us to have permits. And next thing you know, I had to think really quickly. So this is where impromptu speaking and helping you to think on your feet really comes into play.
Absolutely, Kathy. That's a really great point. Having to speak in front of counselors and on television, this is very useful. I know we've all watched an interview where someone was caught off guard before, and we're like, what did they say?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yes, this absolutely helps us prepare for the unexpected. I have a friend who always says, you don't got to get ready if you stay ready. And this is a version of us staying ready. So this is great. So I have a few points with this. It's impromptu speaking is everywhere. Just like the examples we've heard. We heard somebody in construction, we've heard from sales, we heard from HR, and we heard from city council and on media. That tells us that impromptu speaking is literally in every field, in every sector, and it's a life skill. Exactly what I was saying. It's a superpower. Secondly, confidence builds credibility. Sometimes we can talk about something we have no idea what we're talking about. But as long as we speak about it with confidence, we can build credibility because it's not always being credible on the subject matter. It's being credible in your ability to believe in yourself and to speak and to communicate an idea. Just like Laverne said, she didn't have to be an expert on what she was facilitating. It's just that she was good at communication. And when we're good at communication, it exudes confidence. And when we're confident, some will say confidence is one of the most important life skills. Number three, quick thinking is a superpower. As you see my Batmobile thing flying over here, when we can think on our feet, we can get in and out of a lot of situations. There are so many situations that I got myself into and out of with my ability to quick think. I only can think of negative ones, so I'm not going to share them. But quick thinking is really a superpower. And then lastly, finding your authentic voice. Our ability to be ourselves is something that I truly believe, and this could get really deep, so I'm not going to go too far with it, but I believe we're on a journey in life to come back to ourselves. As children, we're ourselves. We say what we want. We do what we want. We get to teenagers, we're judged. And we get into our 20s, we're still a little bit nervous. And as we get a little bit older and older and older, we start peeling back the layers to find our authentic voices. And a lot of times, media and all these things distract us from who we actually are, and we lose our confidence along the way. And when it comes to speaking, we sometimes don't want to speak because we don't want to be judged by other people because they may not relate to what we have to say, or they may not agree with what we have to say. But when we practice being confident in who we are and showing up as ourselves, that is the best way to show up. That's the most authentic way to show up. And that's why we practice this. Because when you're able to speak and find your voice, that's when you radiate the most light. Next, I heard a quote once, they won't care. They won't care why it's important unless they know why it's important for you. That's not the quote. How did it go? It won't matter to them unless they know why it matters to you. That's the quote. And I'll tell you why this matters to me. Being able to speak confidently and impromptu speak was important because it would save me from embarrassing situations. I always have this memory. I was in grade 5 and I slipped and I fell on the way trying to catch the school bus. And a bunch of people were laughing at me. And one of the kids was like, ha ha, only idiots fall. And I got up and I looked at him and I was like, well, you must be a really big idiot. And nobody laughed. And I was like, I felt so embarrassed. I got on the bus and I'm sitting on the bus, bouncing on the way home. And I'm like, oh my gosh, didn't say the right thing. I should have said, well, you must have fallen a lot of times. That would have been the quick thinking right there. But I wasn't doing table topics at the time. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have the skill set to be able to think on my feet. And it really helps us in these type of situations. And if I was better at this, I might have saved myself and got some laughs in that situation. So it's saved me from embarrassing situations. Number two, on a more serious note, it really has helped me build confidence in high pressure situations. Would you all believe that I won $100,000 by being able to speak confidently?
Ooh.
Exactly, right? And I won't go into this story too long because we're only have a limited amount of time, and I don't want to make this all about me. But I won a reality show called Big Brother Canada,
Oh, wow.
which hinges on at the end of the show you being able to convince a jury of your peers to vote for you. After you've deceived them, lied to them, played games with them, you have to have a presentation on for 1 minute on why they should vote for you after you've misled them and misguided them and played this game. Because the reality show is a game, so that's part of the game. But that's one of those moments that have shown me the power of being able to communicate an idea with clarity and confidence. Number three, it opened doors I never expected. Now, not only from being able to do a TED Talk, being able to win last year's District 60 Table Topics competition, and being able to speak on different stages and coach, being able to speak confidently has literally changed my life. Social media as well, that's a whole other side of my business where I also do social media influencing quite a bit. But confident speaking will open doors you may never have imagined. And then lastly, believe it or not, I was really a shy person that didn't really want the spotlight on me. I always want to be small. I always want to be in the background. The idea of getting onto stage was always scary to me. Mind you, I feel like I did have a kind of natural knack for it. My dad was a stand-up comedian growing up, so I did watch a bit of that. But I was very scared because I didn't feel like I ever measured up to him. But now this has become fun to me. So it turns something that was once scary into something that's fun. And today, I hope we can make one step along that journey. So, mindset shift. Let's start with that. I did want to put a little bit of my coaching into this. Oh, sorry. And like I said at the beginning, when we change the way we look at the thing changes. And table topics isn't about being perfect. There is actually no right answer to this. It's about being present, authentic, and clear. And why I say there's no right answer to table topics, I will give you an example of this actually. I was last year on my journey to winning at the end at the district competition. In the earlier stages, I had to do a table topic, and the topic was Carpe Diem. So you go up on the stage, they say Carpe Diem to Sean Carter Newman, Carpe Diem. And I stood there, and my first thought was, I have no idea what that means. I had no idea what Carpe Diem means. I didn't even know we could do table topics in another language. That's Latin. That's not even English. I didn't even know if that was against the rules or not. However, it wasn't about getting it right and defining Carpe Diem. It was about telling a story with the audience that can connect and relate it to Carpe Diem. And I talked about, I have no idea what it means. I was genuine and authentic. The audience laughed. And then I said, if I had to define it, I would say it is this. And I talked about a struggle I was going through in my life, talked about just being authentic and seizing the day. Turns out that's exactly what it means. So it worked out. But this is my point. It's not about being perfect. It's about just being present, authentic, and clear. In my coaching, we talk about the 3 Ps: power, play, and peace. And all 3 of those being in alignment leads to high performance. Simple as that. When we apply this to speaking and table topics, power just means being clear and confident. Peace means quieting our self-doubt. And then play means staying relaxed and just being adaptable under the pressure. Play actually means have fun with this. This is a conversation. Enjoy it. Smile. Enjoy the process. So this is the mindset shift that's very, very useful for how we look at table topics. When we change it to something that empowers us, i.e. a conversation with the audience, an idea we want to share, is better than looking at it as something that is scary, that we're going to be judged. Because we can choose the thought, right? But which thought serves us? Moving on. So getting to the methods, right? We went over what table topics is. And there are, I don't know if these are all of them. These are 6 that I know of. There are 6 methods to execute table topics, and I will go through them. I have a favorite. My favorite is the one I'm going to start with, which is the prep method. So the prep method is, we start with your point. We start with a reason. We have the example, and then we go back to the point. So if the question was, for example, what is life's greatest lesson? I would stand there for probably 30 seconds, knowing me, close my eyes. I probably would repeat the question. What is life's greatest lesson? What a question. My point is, confidence is life's greatest lesson. Reason? Why? Because confidence helps you connect to people you never thought you would be able to connect with. Confidence helps you share a message and inspire others. Confidence helps you get a better job. Confidence helps you, those are my reasons. Example, there was a time when I was shy. I was overlooked. No one saw me. I was passed up on opportunity. I was always passed on for opportunities. And then I went to Tashawn's Table Topics workshop. And after, I went in and spoke to my boss, and I got a promotion. Point, which is why confidence and using confidence is life's greatest lesson. That is the prep method in a nutshell. It's my favorite one because to me, it's very clear. You have your point, you tell us why, you give us an example, and then you finish on your point. That's the one, that's my go-to, my favorite, but not the only one. I want to give more options to show you. Past, present, future. Same story. In the past, I was shy, I was not confident. Present, I'm working on it. And then future, I can't wait to see what happens next. Great for storytelling. Not my favorite method, but storytelling is a big part of the table topics framework. So that's another way to do it. Problem, solution, benefit. Very similar to the past, present, future. Problem, you could say, what is life's greatest lesson? A lot of people aren't confident. Solution, go to table topics. Benefit, get better jobs. That's another example. Story sandwich, you start with your story. So we flip all this around. I would talk about how I wasn't confident. I went to table topics, and then I would connect the topic, which would be confidence helped me. And then the key takeaway is that confidence is a game changer for life. Star, this one I find is very useful in interviews, actually. I've used this quite a bit. We have a situation. So the situation is Tashawn is not confident. I feel like I'm using this one a lot. I'm really hammering home this confidence idea. Tashawn wasn't confident. So we wanted to figure out how we could make him more confident, which is the task. The action was we brought him into a table topics workshop, and the result was he became more confident. This last one, hook, story, call to action. This one is very widely used on social media and a very useful one for sales. It's very much of, do you struggle with confidence? Tell the story of what you did and say, if you want to be more confident, this is not what we can do. We can do it all together. Raise your hand if you want to be confident. That is a call to action. I actually have used this one as well. So I would say prep and hook, story, call to action are my favorites because they really connect a story in a full circle way. Prep, bringing us back. Hook, story, call to action, asking the audience to think about something or to do something. So you're actually leaving them with value. So these are there's 6 here. These are 6 methods I've seen widely used. Today, I don't know if we're all comfortable yet, but we're gonna get right into it. I want you to see these methods, let them digest for a second. Move on to the next slide. And now it's game time. We're gonna play a little game and then we're gonna evaluate, see what happens here. So right now, we're gonna actually do a table topics. Like I said, it's a 1 to 2 minute impromptu speech. You'll be given a random prompt, and then you'll have, I'll say about 15 seconds in the just considering time to organize your thoughts. And your goal is to be clear, connect, and be confident. Oh my gosh, thought I had my phone with me for timer. Can anybody time for us?
Sure, I can do that.
Who said that?
Teresa.
Teresa?
Yes, sir.
Wait, no, I have one. It's okay. No worries. I found my phone.
Okay, then.
Okay, so do we have a volunteer? Anybody who want to go first? Try this out. Laverne. Okay. I will. Okay. Are you ready, Laverne?
I guess I am.
No, I need a more confident response than that.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, sorry, my timer's on 2 hours, not 2 minutes. And here we go. What does leadership look like to you in one word?
What does leadership look like to me in one word? I'm going to say challenging. I've never wanted to take a role in leadership in any part of my career. I always thought it was more so babysitting than truly having decision-making authority. And that is why I shied away from it for so long. I am now learning that that isn't true leadership, but it is how leaders expect you to think. And sometimes it is the mindset that they expect. So, depending on the company, depending on the people, leadership could be more than challenging in a negative way. It could be challenging in a positive. Whereas you get juiced from helping others, you get excited from seeing people grow and learn from your mentorship as opposed to being squashed and put down. For me, that one word will remain as challenge because I still think it is challenging. Would I take a role in leadership now that I just did this table topic? I might think about it because speaking it out loud, it helps me to understand that I can look at it in a different way and it's not just what I think in my mind, but there's more to it. And whether there's leadership pain or whether there's leadership gain, it's still all a part of leadership and it's good for you. It's good for growth. And I don't see the timer, so I don't know how much time I have left. I can't see it.
5 seconds.
Oh,
I should have had a green, blue, and red thing. I didn't have it here. But Honestly, thank you. Round of applause for Laverne, everyone. I think that was great. What method did you use? Did you use a method? Just curious.
I was trying to use, hold on, let me get my notes. I was trying to use the story sandwich method because it was part of a story in real time for me, but then I couldn't really connect it to the topic as much as I wanted to.
Okay, good. I love that you applied a method. And again, like these things take practice and work, but you did a really great job. And we're gonna unpack it a little bit at the end, but we're gonna move on to the next person just in the event of time. But thank you for participating. Really appreciate it. That was great. I saw another hand up. I want to say it was
Jinyasa.
Jinyasa.
Yep.
Is he still here?
Yep, I'm still here.
J-
It's me.
where?
That's me.
I can't.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got
I can't see you, but that's okay. We will get to. Oh, there you are. Okay, there you are. I see you. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I will just go till you're finished. I will put my hand up if we get to the 2 minutes, but I will just allow for you to. We'll stop you at 2 minutes if you go over, but we'll let you go. Okay. All right. So here we go. How do you define happiness today compared to 5 years ago?
Thank you. That's a very deep question. From childhood to adulthood, at every stage of our life, something makes us happy, something makes us sad. When we're a child, maybe playing with our friends, having a day off from school, not going to school, or meeting our best friend in school after a long vacation, that's our definition of happiness. As we grow older, that definition changes slightly. While we become adults, that takes probably a very different turn. But in my view, something fundamental, something very basic, something very instinctive stays throughout this journey from childhood to an adulthood. Although we grow up, we become different people, we evolve. But that fundamental thing which stays with us is our sense of satisfaction, sense of feeling good, sense of happiness. As a child, a candy might have made me happy, or my favorite game might make me happy, or a big, big birthday gift might make me happy. As an adult, maybe a fat paycheck, a big house, a world trip, or maybe, we don't know, a trip to the moon or Mars. We're almost there, might make me happy. Or just simply walking and being with my loved ones makes me happy. So that's happiness. Thank you, and back to you.
Round of applause for Jinyasa. Thank you for that. And thank you for being brave. That was awesome. What method did you use? Or did you use a say what? Go ahead.
I guess I used a mix of storytelling and sort of past, present, future. A mix of both, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Not a very conscious attempt, though.
No, great job. That's how we learn, by getting up and doing. So thank you so much. That was great. Thank you, Jinyasa.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. I see a couple of hands. Is that Kathy? Is this for table topics, Kathy? I can't hear you.
Yeah, she's has to
Are you
unmute.
ready?
All right, yes.
Okay. Okay. I will raise my hand when you have about 15 seconds left, okay?
Okay.
And then we have Angelina. Angelina, you'll be last person for this round of game, okay? And here we go. You've been given $10,000, but have to spend it in 24 hours. What do you do?
Fellow
Over to you.
Toastmasters, $10,000 sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? To be honest, I could just put it in my bank account and put it right against my mortgage. Or I could do something more beneficial with that $10,000. For instance, well, let's see, I could actually maybe put, oh dear, I think I've lost my video. Sorry. Maybe, there we go, I'm back. Maybe I could put a small hot tub into my backyard. And then I could invite my fellow Toastmasters over and we could sit around this New Year's Eve and have a glass of champagne. You know, with $10,000, I can afford the better stuff, not the baby duck, like the real stuff. And even some nice glasses, cheese and crackers. And we could all toast how much we are learning from Toastmasters. $10,000, a little bit of that could also go to a food bank. It could also go to the local school for some of their violins and their musical instruments. When it comes to money, it's so flexible. You can think of yourself, maybe a cruise, or you can think of maybe you're actually doing okay. And that little money that came in, maybe you could share that with some people who really need some help. So thinking about it and spending it in 24 hours, that's not the hard part. But I'm going to ask you, if you had $10,000, would it all go towards what you want to do? Or maybe you might share it a little bit too. How about some of your family members? Someone need a break? Maybe hire a cleaning lady. But you know what? $10,000, I could hire my own too. Back to you.
Great job, Kathy. Thank you so much. That was awesome. What method did you use?
I have no idea. I just rambled and remembered that I should always try to, because it's a speech, I should always try to have a message for my audience, right? When we have an audience, it's just, it's not a paid audience. You don't have people there. I mean, that would be a psychiatrist, right? Someone you're paying to listen to you. So you want to give a reason for why the audience should be listening to you. So I was just trying to circle around to give a message.
I love that. It was your own method, and that is worth something. Thank you, Kathy. Next, we will finish up with Angelina. Are
Yes.
you ready?
I have 30 seconds to think about it, right?
Oh, you really, you're really gonna
Okay,
use it,
I will
huh?
take 15 seconds.
Don't worry, yeah, we don't have too much time, but yeah, we'll get right
Okay,
into it.
I will
Okay.
take 10 seconds then.
Amazing. Are you ready, Angelina?
Yeah, now I am.
Perfect. Okay. If you had to be an animal for one day, which animal would you be, Angelina?
I would love to be tall. Even though amongst my own kinds, I am above average. And I would love to be skinny, even though I was never fitted into the skinny side of my own kind. And I'm a meat lover, and I would love to be a vegetarian. And because I'm lactose free, I would love to be a vegetarian and eat cheese at the same time. The animals I want to be is a giraffe because Africa, I will be living in Africa and it will be always nice and hot. And I will be tall enough to see where everything is before I go there. I can see where there's water, where there's enough trees and enough leaves to me, and that I can see it before I go there. So I don't waste my resources to go all the way there and realize that, oh, there's no water, there's no trees to eat, no leaves to eat, and there's a tiger there. And not to mention, have you, any one of you, see a giraffe fighting with another giraffe? I love it. While you have long neck and you can swing it and tell them where they should go. For living a day in giraffe is a nice day because you know how to fight it without your arms and feet. You do it with your neck. And have you seen a baby giraffe and how cute they are? I guess at one point I was cute too. And now that I have grown up and have long neck, I can see where I'm going and I can show people what I got with my neck. And I think it's a good life. Thank you.
Great job, Angelina. I don't know who came up with these questions because that's wild. What way to throw us off guard with these ones, but really good. What method did you use?
What method? I was looking at them. I think it's a little bit of the prep methods. This giraffe is the example. And there's some reason. Yeah.
Oh, great. No, I'm just curious what you thought, if you thought about it. That's why I always ask. Yeah.
No, I look at all your method and then when you told me and I just like go.
It's very quick to be able to digest the method and just use it. So, no, I was just curious to know if you had one in mind. But no, great job, Angelina. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to thank another round of applause for everybody that did it. I think this was great. Really, really good. Very courageous for all of you to step up in front of the group. I know it's not easy. You know, I pictured doing this workshop in person, which I would have loved. But now to open it up to the room again, I want to get some feedback and some observations. Let's remember that this is a safe space and let's keep it positive, and let's always try to portray it in a positive light and in the spirit of learning and growing. But some questions to think about. How did it go? What methods did you see the speakers use? What did you like? And then how could they improve? And then I'll go after, but I just want to take a pulse and temperature check on the room. What did people see?
Can the folks who did the table topic speech give feedback and or observations, or it's just for the others?
Anybody. It's open to the
Anyone?
room.
Okay, Dishan, I'll go. My name is Ved Singhal. I think it is a good workshop with 4 examples that Nelina, Levrin, and others have given. I have known these methods about 2 years back. It's good and refreshing to know these methods, and I'm sure this refresher course or knowing these methods will help me in a great way. I'm one of the mentors in my club. I can use it for my mentees and bring to the attention of the club members. Thank you for this workshop. I love it, your presentation, and good to know you won $100,000. I was also in a reality show. I want to share. This was on a cruise ship in Accio Theater. I won the most sexy man, and all other contestants were half my age, believe it or not. Back to you.
Thank you so much. And just by the way you speak, it sounds like it's giving sexy. So I see how it happened. So thank you. Any other observations before we move on?
I enjoyed Jignasa's speech. I enjoyed the fact that she, of course, as always, adds humor to it. And I believe she mentioned she did the past, present, and future method. And I can't remember, and I'm so mad I didn't write it down, which I usually would. I remember she did use a past story, and then she brought us to the future. And then I think it was Kathy. Yeah, Kathy, yep. I enjoyed what Kathy had to say, even though I got lost. I thought she was talking about one thing, but then I got lost in it. But because she had humor and because she's so honest, I enjoyed what she had to say. That's it for me.
Thank you, Laverne. Great comments. And I love how you really encourage the other speakers. And I totally agree with you. I have very short, concise comments because Table Topics is all about being concise. But I thought first with Laverne, great storytelling. And I think you did a really good job connecting the audience and bringing us into your own world. Going really deep with storytelling has been a really big strategy of mine. And I find when the deeper you go, the more you connect. So when I talk about anxiety, I talk about depression, I talk about things that have gone wrong in my life and things that have gone right, but we can all talk about our wins. But when we talk about, things that we've lost and when they've gone wrong, we really connect. And I thought you did a good job connecting in your story. So thank you so much for that. Jinyasa, I thought, in addition to what Laverne has already said, I thought your use of the pause was great. See what I did there? Pause. When we pause, we allow the audience to catch up to what we're saying. So I thought that was really good. And again, great story, great use of humor. Kathy, I think you gave us something to think about, which I thought was very strong. When we asked the question, I think you asked something about how would you spend it on yourself or can't remember the exact question now. And I was writing so many notes, but you asked us a question and we're supposed to be good at this as evaluation. I gotta take the evaluation one. But you asked us a question which got us to think. And when you get the audience to think and reflect, I always think it's a very powerful thing to do in a speech and in table topics. So thank you for that. And then Angelina, I think again, you gave us suspense. You didn't talk about the giraffe till maybe 45 seconds in. I was wondering who is she? Where is she going with this? And that kept us engaged. That's a really good hook. And I thought that was really strong, and I thought you did a really good job with that. So moving on, thank you all again. And in the event of time, we're gonna move on. So a few things to remember, because we're in virtual, thought we'd be in person, but because we're virtual, body language is very important when we're speaking. So remember to keep open body language. The use of gesturing. I find slower gestures are better than fast ones. Can be distracting to the audience, but our use of body language can really enhance what we're saying. Sometimes, a lot of times, most times, people look at us and already have made their judgment before we say anything. And how we stand and our body language is a big part of that, right? Eye contact as well. Again, we're virtual, so I'm looking at me, but I could be looking at you. I can't see any of you. Eye contact is key. So when you're speaking to an audience, remember that you're having a conversation. So periodically choose people, focus on them, and then you can move. But it's very important that we make eye contact with our audience. And then natural pauses, I already highlighted that, but the use of a pause is powerful. I feel like I'm speaking a little fast because I know that time is kind of ticking, but the use of pause is powerful. There's so much power in a pause because the audience can catch up to what you're saying, especially when we're giving lots of complex information. So, confidence building techniques outside of this. One comment I want to make for all the speakers, when I asked you all what method you used, nobody seemed super sure. And I want us to get good at this. I'm not saying you have to use prep. I'm not saying you have to use any method. What I'm saying is use a framework, stick to it, make it your bread and butter, play with them, change them up, find which one works for you best. But the framework really helps you connect with the audience and speak confidently because now you have a system in your head for how you're speaking. Systems are more important than goals, right? You can have a goal of doing a good speech, cool. But to be able to repeat that consistently, it's about having a system. Having a system is as simple as I know where I put my keys every day. That's a system. So it's the same when we're using table topics. Let's have a system. I use prep because it's the most simple in my mind. I know you ask me the question, I give my point, I then give you my reason, and I connect it to a life story of mine, and I wrap it up with the point. Not saying you have to use that one, but it's how my brain works. That's the simplest one. Other techniques that do help with this, besides doing table topics over and over again and getting bored of it, improv. Improv is huge. I actually had an exercise I want to do with you today, but we may run out of time. Improv is huge because improv allows you to think on your feet and on the spot. And this is a practice, right? The game I was going to play with you, let's see if we have time for it. It was really about just being put on the spot and then having to say something quickly. Improv is great for that. So if you have classes near you, I recommend it. Storytelling. Practice telling stories. I'll actually connect storytelling with reading on these points because I a lot of times will read a book in the morning and then tell somebody about it in the afternoon. And what that does, it practices our ability to take information and disseminate and speak on it in a concise way. The practice of that makes us a better speaker because then when we're doing table topics, we can now pull on that information. Even just asking somebody how their day went, or you telling somebody about your day is storytelling. Now, when you're in table topics, you can pull from these things. But reading and storytelling are key. The practice of stories, and stories are what connect you to your audience. Okay, all right, let's practice. Let's see if we can do this quick. So this game, as a group, we will answer a table topic. Each person can only say one sentence. I will ask the question and then randomly call on participants to answer. So this is a game where each person I call on will say a sentence. The next person has to say a sentence that fits with the one before it. It puts you on the spot to now tell a story. I will try this quickly because we're running out of time. My explanation could have been longer, but in the event of time, let's try quickly. What does it mean to be rich? Laverne.
To be rich means happiness. And the reason I say that is because it appears that folks on television have money and they're happy.
Stop you there. Angelina.
You got me. To be happy is to be happy is to do something you're passionate with.
Sabrina.
Because when you're passionate about something, they say, and I use the cliche, that you don't work a day in your life.
EJ.
I disagree with all the previous thoughts. For me, happiness is a state of mind. It doesn't require money. It just needs a state of mind.
Lydia.
I totally agree. Being confident and being happy brings that level of peace and comfort. That is it for me, having that passion and just being comfortable.
I love that. I'm going to stop there. I wish we had more time because this is a really fun game because it's essentially we're creating a speech sentence by sentence. and it's an improv game, which is a really good one. Usually it's one word, but we made it a sentence for this. But I really appreciate you all for participating in that game. And in the event time, we'll just move on. We were going to do a practice storytelling, but I do want to ask on should we do? Are we, Steve? Are we done at 7? Right, like right at 7, we'll end.
We can go a little bit past. That's fine.
A little bit past. So if anybody wants to stick around, I want to ask on one person for a takeaway, and I wanted to fill it in. So I didn't want to give you all the key takeaways because I am a performance coach. We don't always give the answers. We actually ask more questions and give answers because it's empowering and people come to their own conclusions. So for a key takeaway, does anybody want to raise their hand? And I will ask for one.
Lydia.
Lydia, go ahead.
I thought that a takeaway, which was great, that Laverne demonstrated, was just to be authentic when she talked about her leadership and what she thought about her leadership. So, I mean, I enjoyed the whole. It's 7 o'clock. But
Thank
that was
you,
it for
Lydia.
me.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lydia. Angelina?
The one thing I really take away today is the framework, and that I will keep in mind that I write that a framework as a bread and butter, and that will help me to know how to present myself when I'm least expected. Thanks.
Thank you, Angelina. Jinyasa.
One key takeaway from me would be to remember that there is no right, no wrong answer, and let your imagination do the work. Let the creativity flow using the methods or the structures that you shared today.
Thank you, Jinyasa. That's great. And then Teresa?
Thank you. First of all, I love the methods that you gave us. I had not seen those before, and I could see myself trying out all of them at one point and another. And the other thing I want to say is that I use improv all the time. I actually recently led an improv workshop with a whole bunch of people who have never done improv. And we played that game, but we did one word at a time. And the whole point of the game is fast, 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 fast. And I had people sitting there, it's like, you can't think of a word? And it was a little aggravating, but it taught me a lot about how sometimes we just go into our heads. And no, I can't say that. No, I can't. Oh, I might offend that person. And it's like, it's all nonsense. If I'm being my true, authentic self, then you might not like what I have to say, but that's me being me. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. That's a great answer. That's what I took away from that. Thank you all for your takeaways. I didn't have any. I really wanted that to be led by the audience because I didn't want to tell you what to take away. I think something stood out for every different individual here. But I do want to say these takeaways are great. Be authentic, right? I think be authentic and be yourself, they're very similar. Be authentic. Do what's true to you. The framework is the bread and butter. I can't say that enough. Using a framework is a system, and the system will lead you to the outcomes that you want. It's not about just setting the goal, it's about improving your system. And I think we could all use a system upgrade sometimes. There's no right and no wrong answer. Exactly. Play, imagine, have fun with this. And lastly, be yourself. No one is better at being you than you. And the world wants to see it. So oh shoot. I'm a performance coach. I won't take too long doing that. I have such a big background in mental health, self-mastery, and leadership. I won Big Brother Canada, and that really was the thing that put me on stage. But this is so important to me because I love exploring ways of helping people get out of their own way. That is like the biggest thing. Helping people who are stuck, helping people who just want to be better, helping people give them the tools and align them with the things that help them get out of the areas that make them feel stuck. Why are these sounds playing? I'm so sorry, everybody. If you can you hear them?
Yeah.
Nope, nothing.
No, okay, sorry. There were sounds playing in the background is distracting me. So last thing, great speakers aren't born, they are built. Sometimes you'll see someone on stage and think, wow, they were just born like that. Most times they practice. They practice these frameworks. They practice being uncomfortable and they got comfort in it. All of you can too. And this is not just about table topics. This is just an essential thing of being a high performer. Being able to speak with confidence literally is life changing. I want to thank you all for listening. I have a QR code here for you to connect with me. Also, if you have any questions, I don't know if you want to stick around. I can stick around for about 10 minutes for questions,
There is
but I would be
one in
glad.
chat. Tishan, there is one in chat from Ved. He wants to know if you deliver this workshop in person at clubs.
Never have, but that's not up to me. I would love to do this in person. But I do coach one-on-one performance coaching, like I did say. However, if the Toastmasters wants to reach out to me to have me do a workshop in the club, I'd be happy to. But yes, I enjoy this type of stuff, so I'm always happy to teach on this. This is like, I think this is one of the most important skills. I could talk about this all night. I could stay if we guys want to stay till 10 p.m. We can. I'm down. But no, I love this. Any other questions?
Not in chat unless somebody wants to verbally ask one.
I'd like to verbally ask. I don't know if it's a question, a comment, or something for you to respond to, but here goes. So, because we're in this virtual environment, it is really challenging for me to look in this stupid camera on my laptop. And when I'm doing speeches, I get dinged quite often because I'm not looking in the camera. I like to look at people and their faces. Looking at your face now, it may look like I'm looking down. How do we overcome that in this virtual environment to let people know, no, I'm not reading notes. I'm looking at the people in front of me. I'm just not great at looking at that camera. Is there a way?
Great question. What is it that you are trying to accomplish?
Connecting with the audience?
Virtually.
Yeah.
What has worked for you in terms of connecting with the audience?
Just speaking. But when I get feedback that says there was no eye contact, I get kind of annoyed because this is a virtual environment. How can there be eye contact? I'm not looking at that little, like right now, I'm looking in your face, but I'm sure it looks like I am looking down.
Yes.
Sean, can I respond to that?
Absolutely. I didn't have
And
a good answer, so I would
this
love to hear
advice
it.
came from one of the world level leader at Toastmasters. After every half an hour or so, look at the camera when you pause. That is your connection with the audience. Pause. That is important in any speech delivery. For 10 to 15 seconds, pause and look at the camera.
That's
That's
good,
your
Vet.
connection.
Thank
That
you.
is
I do
about,
pause.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to look at the camera during those pauses. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
that is your connection.
Great response by Vic. I would totally co-sign that. I would say absolutely. Maybe when you're speaking, you're looking, maybe it could be at the screen, but when you have a chance, when you're pausing, that's an opportunity to look at the camera. And so is asking a question. So when you have a question, you could look at the camera and it looks like you're asking a question to the person. I struggle with this sometimes as an influencer because I'm more comfortable with people than I am in front of the camera. But speaking to the camera is also a practice in itself. So if there's any value in that, maybe practice looking into the camera and speaking at it because that has helped me. I had to pretend the camera was a person because it can be very awkward when you're just talking to this black hole, when you practice it, you get better at it, like anything. I hope that helps.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Of course, Laverne. Sabrina, you got a question? We lose you?
You think
Sabrina,
I'd
you're
learn
mute.
after so many years, but apparently not. So I actually had a question and a comment. I'm going to start with my comment. I actually heard you at that area contest where you had the Carpe Diem question. I think you did an amazing job at it, and somehow you came up to the exact meeting. So I don't know how you did that. I would probably be still standing there trying to figure out what to say. But anyway, what my question is, when you're participating as a contest, I know contestants have the option to ask the contest chair to repeat the question. And you mentioned that you take about 30 seconds before you start. But again, I mentioned I'm an overthinker, but technically they can start your time before you start saying a word. So if you give some sort of body movement, that technically they can start your time. So how do you manage that and keeping the 30 seconds in your mind as you're pausing to figure out what you're going to say
Great question,
without
Sabrina.
going over time?
Great question, Sabrina.
Can I answer that?
Of course.
Red, of course.
Just drop your face, think, don't do any body movements, just in thinking mode. You're okay then, whatever you want to do for 30 seconds. Don't look at people, just drop your head. You are in thinking mode, so they cannot start the timer.
Okay, amazing. That's very simple. I like it. Thank you.
It was one of the things yesterday in yesterday's presentation.
What was yesterday's presentation? What did I miss?
About how to hold contests by Bruce Lang. It was one of the bullet item.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Okay, I missed that one. Thank you.
Okay.
I totally agree with that. When you drop your head, I would also say breathe. I noticed even today, when we get the question, we're like, oh, yeah. And then we want to just answer the question. But it's like, breathe, take a moment, take your time, and then start. I'm definitely not counting when my head down there. But I know after I take about 4 or 5 breaths, it has not been 30 seconds. So I would say just take your time. I choose a direction and I commit to it.
Okay.
And but commit to it and be authentic. Like I think of the whole prep in my head as I'm going down. So I'll be like, okay, how am I gonna answer this? Okay, that's my point. What's my reason? Okay. Usually if you have a point, the reason will go with it. Then you just need an example. You just need a story to connect to it. And when you get all 3 of those, then it's over. Because then it's like, okay, I have the point now, I have the reason, and I have a life story to share with this. So now I have it. But it's like you can it's really about choosing a direction, just taking your time. When you take your
Okay.
time, I always recommend it. And it's a pause in itself. The whole audience is anticipating what you're about to say because you've paused. So it's also a built-in pause as well.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much.
I hope that helps. Thank you, Sabrina. Great question.
Sean, Jimyasa is asking if you're able to share the PowerPoint slides with us.
Absolutely. This is not a PowerPoint though, but I will share it. It's a Canva, so we'll figure out how to connect that with you. Maybe I can send it to who asked this question? Bruce?
Jimyasa.
No. Who is speaking now? Is it?
I'm
Steven.
Oh, it's you. Okay, Steven. Okay, Steven. Yes, I can. We just got to figure out how we're going to coordinate that. I can send it
Sure,
directly to.
we can do that together.
Yeah, let's do that offline.
Mhm.
Perfect. Anybody else?
I mean, I do have another question.
Go ahead.
I know breathing helps I'm great online, like on camera for the most part. I'm great on camera. I'm comfortable. when it gets to being in person, sometimes I still get nervous. I can't always say what I want to say in a clear, polished manner. I'm a work in progress. How do you manage that? And I know you're probably going to say confidence.
I'm going to answer that, and then
I'm
Tishan is
ready.
going to chime in.
Ben, can we do a
Actually,
workshop together one day, please?
yeah, we got to sit for coffee on that, Tishan. What it is actually, I'm mentoring an IT recruiter, and he had this problem. He said, "Well, when I start speaking, it's all flies. I get very nervous." And this is I have been doing without anybody telling me. When you want to speak, just look at people for 10, 15 seconds and smile. Once you smile, you get more confidence. Those flies going to disappear. You will deliver a fantastic job. Try it. It will work. It has worked for most people I have told. And it works for me from day one. So smile, smile, smile. Tishan, yours.
Honestly, I love
And
that answer.
if I may add with what Ved mentioned,
Okay.
looking at the person who is asking a question, and you give a smile for, let's say, 5 seconds, that person get uncomfortable thinking, what did I ask? So the nervousness is replicating, and that's my experience. That's my personal experience.
Okay. So eye contact a little bit, not too much, and smile.
Yep.
Not too creepy.
Not crazy eyes. Not crazy eyes. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
These are really good answers, and I wouldn't want to do a disservice to give you the same ones, but I would say a question to even ask yourself is, what does the confident in-person speaker Sabrina look like? Visualize that. What do you do in that room? How do you connect with the audience? Smiling and eye contact are great ones, but think even deeper of the things like, what does that confident version of you look like on stage? Ingrain that image in your mind and practice that. Another way of practicing in person is speaking in front of your friends or family, people who are close to you. Start with a small group that you trust. Speak in front of them. It's just, it really is. I hate this. It sounds cliche, but it is practice, right? And a lot of us with table topics, we have them in our club and we don't always do it. So we don't always get the practice in that we would like to get. But there's so many opportunities to practice speaking. It's not just at Toastmasters, it's in front of peers, it's in front of friends, in front of family, it's in front of whoever will listen. Tell them a story. Then when there's 10 people in the room, it won't be as difficult. And then when there's 20 people in the room, then eventually when there's 20,000 people watching Sabrina speak, it's all the same.
In a nutshell, fake it until you make it. And that's the basic of the confidence.
All right. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone. Tayshawn as well. Thank you so much.
I hope that helps. Oh, I used to hear one back in the day that was pretend the audience is naked. I don't know if that works, but that was one thing they used to say a long time ago. If there aren't any, are there any more questions? I'm always happy to answer them. I love questions. Nope. Okay. Well, again, thank you all for your time. If you want to connect with me, my email is down there. And I really am excited for all of you to take something from today and apply it in not just your table topics, but in your life. So I just really thank you for letting me share this moment with you and for sharing this moment with me and giving your time. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent
Thank you all.
workshop.
Thank you all.
Great
Bye-bye.
workshop. I really
Okay,
enjoyed it.
bye.
So, Sean, I'm going to connect you with Andrew Mertens.
Okay.
He got the master list of all the people who registered. I think there might have been a few people who didn't register, but maybe got the link from someone else. And we might be able to use the recording to, which is still on for some reason.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me talk to Andrew, and I'll connect him with you in terms of sharing the slides or whatever it is you want to share with the group. Okay.
Yeah, please follow up. I'll send it
I
over
will do that,
whatever to
yeah.
wherever. Okay, perfect.
All right. Have a great
Thank you,
night.
Stephen. Hey, you too.
Take care.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.